Quiet Place Day 1 is the latest prequel to hit theatres, taking what made A Quiet Place so appealing with its dread-inducing atmosphere and throwing in new characters to confront a seemingly impossible challenge. If you finish watching this one and are looking for similar movies, we've combed through the archives and saved you the hassle with our top 8 picks for alternate viewing. As always, let us know your favourites in the comments and which of these you've watched. So without further ado, let's start the countdown. Don't Breathe follows a group of friends who break into the house of a wealthy blind man, thinking they'll get away with the perfect heist. Unfortunately, they are wrong. Oh, so wrong. The man proves to be a dangerous adversary who uses his blindness as a powerful advantage, causing a game of cat and mouse to ensue. Don't Breathe features characters that must rely on their other senses to survive, with the respective main characters in both films forced into situations where their senses are a liability. This one should definitely whet the appetite. The Invisible Man was one of the biggest surprises when it released in 2020. It centres around Cecilia, who believes she is being stalked and tormented by her abusive ex-boyfriend, even after his apparent suicide. He manages to convince those around her that she's delusional, but Cecilia is certain that she is not alone. While The Invisible Man is more of a psychological thriller, it shares A Quiet Place's idea of an unseen threat lurking around the corner. There's a good deal of suspense built around this idea of an invisible force, pushing their respective protagonists to the absolute limit. Alright, this one may be a little controversial to choose given the film is rather subjective in quality, but it's undeniably similar given it also plays with the senses. For those unaware, Bird Box is based on the book sporting the same name. As news reports come in of mass hysteria worldwide, the story picks up with expectant mum Mallory caught in worldwide panic. Mallory scrambles for refuge at a nearby house with a ragtag group of survivors. The thing is, none of them know what they're up against, and it breeds a claustrophobic and suspenseful thriller to ensue. Be aware though, this one isn't as strong as others on this list, despite its massive similarities to A Quiet Place. The Descent is a fantastic horror about a group of friends who go on a caving expedition and become trapped. They soon discover they're not alone as they are hunted by flesh-eating humanoids. What The Descent lacks in outright spooks and crazy gore, it more than makes up for with great use of its camera work to heighten that feel of claustrophobia. Honestly, if anyone has a fear of tight spaces, this film will absolutely exploit that. Both films also feature strong female characters who must fight for their survival, alongside a rising wave of growing sense of dread and terror. Signs is definitely a polarising M. Night Shyamalan option, with many torn between liking and loathing this one. However, it's undeniably creepy and similar in its atmosphere and design. The story revolves around a widowed former reverend living with his children and brother on a Pennsylvanian farm. When they find mysterious crop circles, everything starts to come undone, leading to a pretty suspenseful horror experience. Well, given the fact this is about A Quiet Place Day 1, it makes sense to put A Quiet Place on it, right? And the original is certainly one of the most tense horrors to come out in recent years. The movie plays with its sensory specific premise with some genuinely unnerving segments and a solid screenplay. The story takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where monsters roam free. Armed with ultra-sensitive hearing, the only way to survive is through keeping silent and creeping around the world. After a family tragedy, the Abbott family remain ever vigilant against the threats outside, but are their days numbered? Well written, and with a sequel and prequel, Quiet Place is quietly on course to become a modern cultural hit. In Pitch Black, a spacecraft crash lands on a sun-scorched planet. The surviving crew members find themselves in a world of darkness, hunted by alien predators that only come out in the dark. Among the survivors is dangerous convict Riddick, played by Vin Diesel, who turns out to be their best hope for survival. Both films feature crews stranded in hostile environments facing murderous alien creatures. Furthermore, the use of the dark and the unseen builds in their respective suspense and horror, along with a strong central protagonist who emerges as a leader. Pitch Black is well worth your time. Infested is a French horror and easily an underrated gem in this field. The story centres on Caleb, a young entrepreneur who's into exotic pets. He scores a deal on a super poisonous spider one day through his contacts and brings it home, stashing it in an old shoebox. Unfortunately, the spider escapes, and as a result, the apartment complex becomes overrun with spiders. The situation gets so out of hand that the cops have to step in, shutting down the building and not allowing anyone to leave. Now the residents are stuck, facing a spider invasion with nowhere to run. Creepy, skin crawling and packed with horrific imagery, especially if you have arachnophobia, Infested is one film you definitely shouldn't pass on, and if you haven't watched it, you should add it to your watch list immediately. So there we have it, our top 8 picks for best movies that are similar to A Quiet Place Day 1. So what did you think of our picks? Did one of your favourites make the list? Have we missed one off that you think should definitely be on here? Either way, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.